Hey Tony, how's it going?
What's up, buddy?
Just poured a cup of coffee. What are you doing?
Just finished one up.
Nice.
Just finished one up. All right, go ahead and talk to me some probably sometime, bro. See what's going on with you and how things are going and any results.
I don't know. I mean, I filed the EEOC and then I submitted it yesterday to the. In the beginning of this whole process, there was a dude who completely disavowed me and said that they are not representing me. So I'm hoping if I bring up that original paper, they will pay for an attorney if there actually is an administrative hearing. If not, I'll just do it pro se. See what they say.
Right. So what was NTU's reasoning?
They gave no reason at all. Just, we're not representing him in this matter. Thanks, union.
Wow.
How are you doing?
That's kind of fucked. Well, I just filed my EO.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I had an intake last Thursday, and I'm waiting for them to submit whatever the form is to formally file it with the EEOC.
Wow.
Tamika is not getting reassigned back to Atlanta, where she was for a couple of years. Her and Adam can't get along. So, I was writing down section sheets that I've had since I've been here. I got a couple of duplicates on the list, but yeah, it's pretty lengthy. Anyway, so it was announced she might get reassigned, whatever. So official announcement came out today that she's getting reassigned to Atlanta. But we all knew. I mean, I knew. Come on. We've been around Adam now 4 or 5 years, and it's kind of his MO. So she's gone, but before she left, she did my eval.
Wow.
Land on January 8th. And again, same rating 3 years in a row since I filed my RA for telework. Same rating, didn't go up, didn't go down. The 2 years prior was submitted as a higher rate, and Adam said, no, I'm not signing that until you lower it. So that grievance was filed on that right after, 25, I guess, and then obviously the government in general is not looking at grievances to the unions because they don't recognize the unions, but nonetheless, it's been sitting there. Anyway, January 8th, I had a meeting with her and through Teams, and she's like, well, I need to schedule this with the union. I want to make sure the union's available to sit on the call with us. Which I found kind of odd because that had never happened before.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, well, it had to do with the opportunity to sit on the call. As we go through eval, she's like, well, Tony, you're going to see that certain CJEs I didn't rate you on. And it was worded different than the other, than last year's where it said something about she couldn't observe my work. But this year, she put something totally different. Basically the same CJEs, but she made the, Tamika, she can't withhold not saying something. So she says it's in front of me, the union, and God. She says, well, I didn't rate those CJEs because I haven't been assigning you any work because you're RA. And I said, huh? So I finally got her, not that I asked her directly to say it or tell her to say it. She said it.
Mm-hmm.
And basically what I've known the last 3 years was finally echoed. And I got off the call and had a call believe she has said that. I go, well, I tell her, ask for clarification, just put it together, and so I sent an email basically asking for clarification, who authorized it, basically quoted what she said in the meeting, blah, blah, blah. It was really said that I didn't get into too much detail about ADA and all that kind of stuff, but I made it known that I knew my rights, and basically the RA wasn't being executed per the guidelines of the law. And, if that was the case, I mean, I just speculated the whole time. I mean, they're not going to come back and tell you, but when you have projects pulled and you have this pulled and you're not offered, ways to join meetings, and, it's like, okay, well, you can't be here at the meeting, but let's offer you, let's set up your team so at least you can listen in. Like, they had in St. Louis I didn't go to, and didn't even offer. Guy sent her an email. I was like, hey, are you gonna be able to, pin this on Teams so I can join in and listen in? She goes, nope. Okay, nice.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, that's the latest. I ended up filing a EEO and basically discrimination and retaliation, and I had my input my intake Thursday, and basically, told the investigator, I was like, this is just a continuation of what's been going on for years. I said, she just finally admitted to it.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's like, this is, yeah. So I'm just waiting for that to come through, and I guess I got like 15 days to file it. Then I'm going to file it, and then I'm going to, well, actually yesterday, I officially submitted my retirement papers.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I asked Ian before, and I was like,
Yeah, would it take me like a year to get the final report back to submit it to request the hearing? It was over 700 pages.
Yours was?
Yeah, the final PDF that they submitted was over 700 pages. It's just, but it's like everything. I mean, they have screenshots of Setter. They have screenshots of section chiefs, like notes on, like everything, stuff I've never even seen before. It was because, the investigator went to all these different people and gathered all this stuff, but because they tried to clip me one time because I went to the Schiller Park office instead of the downtown Chicago office, and I can't remember his name, but he came from a different BU. Oh, Dustin Hendricks.
Oh, Dustin.
Yeah.
But what do you mean? You went to another BOD, and what do you mean?
Yeah, they said I wasn't at my at the pod, but I went to the office closer to my house, which was where I was originally supposed to work, but then Adam switched it on me at the last minute, and then the guy who took the guy who would have refused the position, who took the Schiller Park office, never did a fucking thing, and he was gone in less than a year. Went to a different agency or something.
Somebody that worked for facilities?
Yeah, some guy that had an MBA. He never did a thing. Never saw him. He was only there for like a couple months and he left.
I don't know who the hell that is or was.
I can't remember his name. It doesn't matter. But well, congratulations. So when do you think your retirement package is going to come back?
I don't know. I talked to the guy Wednesday and just said, hey, I hadn't seen you. You said you were going to have it like Monday. And he's like, well, I'm waiting on the other party to respond. And there's always another side of the story. Oh, sure there is. So that's kind of what I'm waiting on, is for the official go file this kind of thing. So I'm waiting on actually a couple of affidavits from Jamie. One from Jamie and trying to get over to Kim for another affidavit. They're the section if I've contemplated retirement. I mean, you know, it's been terrible, and said this was the last straw. I mean, you can't get any dirtier than that than saying, well, you know, we didn't give any work because you're RA. Well, my RA to telework based on, you know, my doctor's recommendation doesn't mean you can't assign me something to do. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying I have not been sitting here doing nothing. It's just the fact that, you know, meetings that I used to be involved in and consultations that I used to be involved in. I mean, would you know? I mean, right after, let's see, it was March of 23, my RA went into effect for telework, March 14th. And then I had that little fender bender, I don't know if you remember.
Yeah.
And then I was off a couple of days. And I had you and Ayana on the project team, and I think I called her, maybe called you both, I don't know, and said, hey, there's a call coming up. You know, take some notes. I'll be back. You know, just kind of hold it down. I got back, and they re-signed the fucking project.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know, the thing about it is I never got a straight answer at the time. Well, you know, Katie was acting chief. And initially she sent me an email. I was like, well, I'm gonna reassign this to Robbie because maybe give you a little time to heal up and all that kind of stuff, and maybe give you a lesser or whatever. I go, oh, okay. And I caught something in the email about being behind. I go, okay, so you snuck that into the conversation. So then I responded when I got back and said, well, what do you mean the project's behind? Based on what? Mm-hmm. She's like, well, Adam and I determined it was behind. I go, you did? I go, did you check with my two other PMs that were assigned to the project? I mean, did you check with W9 and NDC? And the thing about it is, I talked to that director a couple times. John, what's his name? John
Kilcoyne.
And I called him the first time. I was like, John, hey, it's Tony. He goes, Tony, what's up? I go, not much. I go, hey, you know, it's been reassigned. I said, you know, they told me it was behind, which I didn't think it was behind. He goes, it wasn't behind. I think it was an overpromised deadline. Mm-hmm. And he just said that we had no complaints. Yeah. Nobody on my team complained to anybody in facilities about how you run the project. And I said, well, so I put two and two together, just kind of, you know, one after another. I mean, with, you know, since I stood up to the process and, you know, went through arbitration and basically challenged Adam. I mean, he's been an asshole since. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, really, I mean, it has. And every time you open up an investigation with somebody saying something, you know, it's always internal. So it's like, at one point, and initially it was approved. And then the RA coordinator and myself and Tamika got on a call. And Tamika says to me, well, you're no use to me anymore. No, nothing was found. Nothing was found. Yeah. Okay, well, fuck that. So that went on for, oh my God, dude, the reassignment process took 8 or 9 months, 10 months. It took a while. And I kept wondering, I was like, what is going on? I applied for, I mean, they told me, hey, you know, as we're looking for jobs internally, continue to apply through USA Jobs. And I was getting referrals to USA Jobs. And it was like, okay, so you got jobs posted. You're looking at through HCO or whatever that process to find me another position. There's no competition if I qualified, and you just slide me into it. What's taking so fucking long? Mm-hmm. Well, come to find out, the RA coordinator, who I guess was the territory manager, she actually handled my first RA for telework. She's he's like, well, Tony, we didn't share your medical file, but we did share your limitations with the hiring managers.
Mm-hmm.
I said, what? Well, we didn't want to put you in a position to fail. Well, I go, won't you give me that opportunity to make that decision?
Yeah.
So there's another violation. I mean, it's been one after another, dude. And I really think that Adam and probably the directors had something to do with me not getting relocated or reassigned.
Yeah, absolutely.
They had some input on that. So, and this was the last straw for me with Tamika basically summing up the last 3 years.
Yeah.
Like, fuck all this.
Yeah.
So,
well, I had an unemployment hearing about 2 weeks ago that Adam showed up to the phone call with the unemployment hearing judge.
mm-hmm.
And I filed an unemployment, I filed for unemployment in March of 24, and it's taken almost 2 years to get a penny out of unemployment. And Adam is such a vindictive, F word that he's showing up to an unemployment hearing, and he sent me termination paperwork just like right before the hearing. Shit I'd never seen before. A year. My last day was May 31st of 2025, and now they're sending me paperwork like 8 months later. So it's wild. Like he holds grudges, obviously, and.
Oh yeah.
But so I filed an appeal to that hearing that I had 2 weeks ago, and I'm sure he'll show up again, and we'll see how the hearing goes. I don't have much faith in unemployment, in the state of Illinois, but we'll see.
Why are they denying you? Is the IRS or the federal government not denying?
No, the state of Illinois is denying me the unemployment insurance, and it's about $20,000. So.
Why did he show up for the hearing?
Because he's the correspondent point of contact. Like, he receives the paperwork from, IRS. The IRS gets it, and then they send it to him. Should be sufficient. And somebody told me, talk to the judge like they're a baby holding a teddy bear. Because this last judge I was on the phone with, he went bananas and started screaming. I said, I thought this was supposed to be a different judge on the call. Her name is Shannon. And he goes, it doesn't matter who it is. I'm here. I know what I'm doing. I've been doing this a lot of years. You ain't got to worry about it. And he goes, and you know what? I don't have any jurisdiction in this matter. So this case is closed and you can file an appeal. And then that was it. I was like, holy shit.
Wow.
Holy shit. Crazy.
Did he sound just like that?
Yeah. Adam didn't say a word, just, yes, Judge. That's it.
Why are they giving him the point of contact? Shouldn't it be the IRS fucking lawyers? I mean, they have IRS lawyers.
Well, he's the subject matter expert on John, so I assume just,
he must be just the subject matter expert on everything. Because he set my arbitration, which is fine, like to his teeth, but there was an attorney representing the IRS, the agency.
Mm-hmm.
There was a senior counsel and assistant counsel. So why is he spending his time attending unemployment hearings?
Oh, so there was
he's
a control freak. Yeah, there was another unemployment hearing, but because of the government shutdown, he didn't show up.
This facilities. The thing about it is, it's like, how do people? Well, let me rephrase that. How does this organization not think there's a problem when you got people running out of here after a couple of years, and then they may go to another market, another territory, and everything's completely different. It's like the whole. I mean, I don't get it. What I don't understand is, why is somebody not holding this guy accountable I don't get it.
Well,
What
there are mysteries in life.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, I remember when we walked out of that conference after he screamed at all of us for the meeting that he put together. I told you, Lig, let it go. And then I was complaining, and then later that day you were like, John, Lig, let it go. I was like, oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I'm letting it go. I'm you know, yeah, they violated my ADA and what's the other one? Rehabilitation Act of whatever, and being a protected veteran too as well. So, and that goes for you as well too. So I don't know if you brought that up with in your case or not, but
it's in there. There's paperwork in there saying that I'm a Service Connect disabled veteran. But who knows if there's even an administrative judge? Who knows if the hearing that'll be great. If I don't get that in the paperwork so I still have yet to go down that route. I still have a laptop and cell phone. So
are you serious?
Yeah. So I need to call the HR, the customer support or whatever, and I'm gonna see what the instructions are for the federal employment disability, and then try to give the laptop back.
Well, here's some food for thought. So he sent you termination papers to fill out, or actually a letter of you were terminated on this date?
It's in my other room. I can pull it out of a big stack of paperwork, but it was more like a letter stating it seemed like he had it drafted specifically for the unemployment hearing. And it was some territory operations supervisor that works for him.
I guess the reason I asked that too is because, a year after leaving the service, you can still file for disability retirement and not go through Social Security disability. You would, like me, I still had to, if you're filing for disability retirement, you still have to submit something to Social Security. And while you're still working, they're going to be like, well, you're still working, so it's denied. But it just shows the OPM and IRS that you've,
right.
You made that attempt. But I guess in a one step with it, which I understand that. But what I was getting at with the paperwork he sent you was, 8 months later after the fact, was it?
I got a package at the end of May with my actual termination letter. And, I had stopped working basically in March of 24. It took them that long. It took them over a year and a half to actually terminate me.
Right.
Technically.
So you have until May of this year to file for disability retirement. Instead of going through the Social Security.
All right. Well, I'll get on that today.
What I'm saying is you can still file it. And they'll pay you, I think the first year, your high three, I think it's 60% of your high threes.
Wow.
And then here's another question, Dave. What about all your vacation time?
Yeah.
And sick days. Where's that at?
It was maxed out basically, and I never actually in Setter used anything because I never put anything in Setter anymore after I stopped working. But that's a good question.
They're supposed to cut you a check, but I don't know how they classified that as. They may have spun all those hours up and been like, well, he's using his 240 hours to not show up at work.
Yeah.
And they made it sound like you didn't show up for work, even though there's a hostile environment. You're like, hey, I'm not going back. You're threatening me, she threatened me. And, yeah. There's just a couple avenues I think you should probably look at just to make sure you got income coming in.
Yeah. I will. It's you know, I'm going slow, but you know, your call was a big help. Just I saw you call me, and I immediately went to my other room and I submitted the final EEOC paperwork. I was like, this is the sign. This is the sign.
People like you and I have been whatever. I mean, there's been others that have left. Maybe they've left a different way, getting another job, or they took DRP, or they've retired, or whatever the hell they decided to do. It's just like I just don't quite understand how I become a target. And it's like, I'll give you a fucking example. So with Tanika gone, he's basically took the reins of our section for the last 6 weeks. And one of the other specialists had sent me, because she had me, one of the things I was doing was reviewing all site visits, monthly, quarterly, annually. That was something I had on my plate to do. And they would send it to me and review it, send it back. She'd sign it, they'd upload it. So one of the specialists sent it to me and copied Adam. And he's like, why is this not going to manager? I go, because I was assigned to review them and, you know, make corrections, or they haven't made corrections, or they would need to make corrections, whatever, and they get signed and uploaded. Like, and he's like, got Katie involved. And Katie, this is, remind me to bring this up on our call. This is what, I mean, he made it sound like, why would you, he's like, why would somebody send this to a PM that can't give any direction? I'm thinking, what? That was a shot at me.
Yeah.
That was a shot at me. And then, I had set up some folders in SharePoint for training and some other things, and she'd asked me to kind of organize all that, make sure training was getting done, and I wasn't tracking it from an ITM like, you know, like they do in the system. I was making sure certificates were easily found and they're in one spot for our section, and if somebody needed them, blah blah blah. So, same person sent this completion of a couple class. I said, yeah, I go to make sure you put it in the file. He's like, why are we tracking these like this? And what the hell? He's like, an off, like SharePoint was some hard drive that was like stored on my personal computer. And Katie, I want you to have access to this, and I want you to delete this file. Well, it was the whole section. It was section C's SharePoint, which had a bunch of other folders in it, not pertaining to just certificates, but billing closures and whatever. And he was like, we don't need to be tracking on this and that. We're not. I mean, it's like, he didn't want, I mean, I just like stopped. I'm like, I'm not responding to this fucking clown, because he has run off on the tangent thinking that, you know, whatever he's thinking, he's not going to listen to my response.
Yeah.
It was like, dude, we're not tracking these at a ITM educational level. We're just making sure we got the certificates. I mean, why can't you fucking comprehend? He didn't want to comprehend it because it was me involved in it.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's neurotic and it's micro. He'll just, you know, just do it.
Yeah. And then a couple of days ago, I got a ticket from the MDC over the CPS project. And if you recall, I mean, we were on that for a year. I mean, you recall, or maybe you don't, I don't know.
No, I do. I wrote a lot of notes on those stupid phone calls.
So do you remember the 3 CPS managers' offices?
Yeah.
They demanded.
Yeah.
Part of the hiring initiative. They're like, hey, once we build this, we're going to hire people and managers, and we need to have these 3 offices built. Okay, great. So not get installed in the offices. So I included in my response back to the customer, I just said, hey, I'll take a look at it. And then I asked Robbie I attached her and go, Robbie, hey, what exactly happened here? And then she sent an email response back and included Adam and his assistant, Katie. And she was like, Tony, as I had explained multiple times, it was a budget, it wasn't what she initially put, Tony, as I explained multiple times, this wasn't in the original project scope.
Yeah.
And something about funding and change order and talking to me like I'm 6. And I didn't get a chance. It was late in the day. I get a chance to respond to it. I kind of sat on it in the morning. I was like, okay, I'm going to respond. In the meantime, Adam had responded. He's got Robbie. Something about that was spot on as usual. And then I responded with the fact that here's the drawing of I think it was July of 22. It showed the 3 offices hard-walled and with furniture. And basically put, they were adamant about having this done. We had $22 million. I'm not quite understanding, at the end of the day, I'm someone that proves a shit.
Mm-hmm.
So he's aware. And so I put this whole thing together. And I said, by the way, I keep getting asked about why the generator. Okay, so here's another example, dude. So, we had a permanent generator installed for that project for backup power, a big expensive generator.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know she only spent enough money to fucking commission the commissioning and then did not fill the fucking thing up? And do you know she didn't reach out to me and say, oh, hey, by the way, this thing doesn't have any fuel? So I guess it was last fall. It was, I think it was right before the shutdown. And then, so they notified me, Ted notified me through a ticket that said, hey, when you fuel this thing, we can't even, it's not going to run. I go, what? Yeah, he's like, yeah, they didn't put any fuel in it, just enough to get it commissioned. And I'm like, why? He's like, I don't know. So we went into the shutdown, and then I got back. I had to redo the whole quote again to get that all approved. And it became an emergency because it was getting ready to become the holidays and people were getting ready to go on vacation. And then, here I have Adam in my ear. I have the AD in my ear, who's reporting back to the head of facilities in Washington, D.C., because the D.C. is complaining there's no fuel.
Mm-hmm.
So again, I'm drug in the middle of something to fix, even though it's my POD. Why is nobody going, why didn't you project management practice is when you're doing a project, you either fulfill everything on the project that you can within budget. If not, you at least need to let somebody know, oh, by the way, you might want to think about getting some funds for fueling this thing. But I guess my main question would be, why did you just put enough fuel in it to commission that? That makes no sense to me.
Yeah.
It makes no sense to me. So I asked her that too in the email. And Adam responded and says, he's like, thanks for sharing.
Yeah.
That's what he put. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah. Well, when I first got hired, I had to fly out to Minnesota with Adam to meet with a bunch of people at the pod there in Minneapolis or in Bloomington. and there was like there was a dispute over a window seat, and so I pulled up like the code showing that the seniority, the EOD gets first choice, and we'll have to you'll have to work this out. And so the guy who was getting in a fight with this woman who worked in SBSE or whatever it was, him and Adam were very chum. And then I actually met Rettig, and we walked around the facility with Rettig, and even Rettig during this like meeting where we had a piece of birthday cake for some anyways, he says, when you go to those courts, I want those mom and pops. I want them paying. I want them suffering. I want justice against these mom and pop. I was like, what? Like, he's talking about ruining small business owners' lives. This guy's a tax attorney. But the guy that we met with Adam, when we get back to Chicago or like a week or two later, goes, hey, remember that guy we met, and we spent the day with? I said, yeah. He goes, oh, well, he died. He handles things is so crazy. Like, what does he think is going to happen to him? After all this is said and done, like it's so at least I have some satisfaction in knowing that it's all like a show, and he's going to croak, I'm going to croak, but the way that we interact, like that's really the whole thing. And that guy, it's crazy because it's like it's like becoming the president. It's a for life position appointment, and so it's like politics. It's crazy. Like, how the hell is it a political position? And that's what it becomes. It's crazy. It's like he got elected to an office or something. But
yeah, but I mean, he's had so many complaints, either through grievances or EEO, that I'm just trying to figure out why don't they do something with him? Why don't they say, hey, why don't you go to another territory? Or why don't you slide over here and take over, another business unit? I mean,
it's because he shows up and he has just enough knowledge to be able to play the game, and he can claim everybody attacks him because nobody wants to do any work. It's just that type of shit. That's what it is. And people in DC, I was really annoyed. Like, when my last day there, Tamika comes up to me. She says, by the way, we're pulling you from the Duluth project, and we've made a new hire in Duluth. We're pulling you from all your projects, and you don't have to do the motor pool vehicle anymore. And then they had a meeting, and Adam literally like sat himself in front of me and turned his back to me. And then we had a meeting, and then I was like, okay, this is it. Like, I'm done working here. Like, they've got somebody to replace me in Duluth. I'm no longer doing motor pool vehicle. Like, what's the point of even being here? Like, I'm done. This is it. I'm not coming back to work anymore. Like, I can't believe this, but this is it. Bye. And then they have these DC people that they bring in who don't know anything about anything. And one guy says to me, how you doing, John? Are you doing okay? You doing okay? I said, yes, sir. Doing great. And total waste of time. You weren't there for that meeting, and total waste of time. And I think I pissed off Adam because this woman gave us a 2-hour presentation on how to file for mileage, compensation, or how to do a flight versus driving. And I raised my hand. I said, ma'am, I said, no offense, but my income taxes are actually easier to do than to try to calculate whether or not I should fly or drive. I was like, how is this not automated? Why is this like, a physics equation that no one can solve? And then our coworker, what's her face? She whispers to me, she says, John, it's a jobs program. I was like, oh, okay. The whole fucking thing is a jobs program, you dummy.
So when Adam, you're up in Chicago with Adam, the last time you sat in front of me, was that part of the meeting with just you and him and Tamika?
No, that was in KC. It was, territory meeting.
That's the last time I saw you, and was that the last one?
That was back in like February or March of 24, I believe.
Gotcha.
You never showed up to any of those like territory meetings. I was always like, fuck.
And, Seattle or Portland or wherever they're from. That's the time we had a talk with him at the restaurant, the hotel, or the bar, or whatever the hell that was, ice cream place. Yeah. So that was the last. That's the last one.
I wonder where Adam learned his methodology of chewing people out. How does he? I mean, it's like a strategy,
Well, I one for one, I think he's not mentally mature, and I think he is every bit a narcissist. And I wouldn't be surprised if you don't have some bipolar floating around in there, because even today we had a call about some of these changes in project assignments, and he was happy as a lark. But it was also, I'm like, I'm actually at my POD today, and I come here on Fridays, but I'm sitting here in the conference room and I'm listening to this conversation. I don't say anything except good morning. That's about all I say. And thank you. And that's it. But I'm sitting listening to him. He's like, everybody have a great rest of your day and a great weekend. And, I appreciate everything you're doing. I mean, it's to me, I think he's just really good at fluff.
Yeah.
And I think he should have been a politician. That's what I think, because, and again, I go back to the bipolar thing. If he can change on the dime, I mean, I think he has a lot of highs and lows, and just depending on, how the wind's blowing for the day, and who's asking the question, and who needs a favor, or who is in the circle, or, he's joking around with, I mean, he's talking and joking around on the call with everybody, but guess who? Me.
Yeah.
I don't want him to. To me, I think it's all a fucking, I don't know. I just think it's all a mirage. I don't believe any of it.
Well, that's why I say. That's why I say he's like you think he's a politician. That's why I say his job is like getting elected to a political office. I just remember one time on a call, I'm working my ass off, I'm stressed out, etc., and he's on the conference call. It literally sounded to me like he was swinging on a hammock on a farm, having a cocktail while we're all, stressed out and doing this and that. At that moment, I was like, this motherfucker. And it had to do with, work from home and all that shit. And I could tell he was just sitting on a hammock, enjoying his view, screaming at all of us, telling us, got to be in your pod, this and that. I'm like, the hypocrisy of this shit is unbelievable.
Yeah, I just think he turned, I mean, he's manipulating enough to get what he wants, to make himself look good. As soon as something goes tits up, guess what?
Yeah.
He's going to take accountability for that. He's going to be like, well, Tony did this, or so-and-so did that, or they should have did this, or, that's what's going to happen. It's just that's exactly what happened that's what actually happened, I think, with these Sims that come out these fucking numbers. None of it had even been looked at. He's like, they need this done. I go, holy shit, okay. So I put this aggressive schedule together based on his basically on his promise to them. He could pull this off. He's gonna pull this off. Just him alone. Because at the end of the day, when things are successful and whatever, he's the one that gets the. He's the one that's looking for admiration and whatever.
Maybe he thinks he's going to DC to work in HQ eventually and take over the whole show.
Who knows? I don't know, but as soon as the shit hits the fan, he's blaming people. So.
Have you seen him? Are all his teeth still in his mouth, or did he get any of the teeth, replaced that he's missing in his mouth?
Yeah, I haven't seen him in 3 years.
That's unbelievable.
I mean, I saw him on Teams video calls, him sitting in a conference room, at a distance, but I've not actually been in the same room with him since Kansas City. And then actually these email exchanges I've had this last week, since he's filled in, since Tamika's took a hiatus, probably 3 years. He don't talk to me. He don't call me for anything. It's usually about, last time I think he called me about some furniture or something that I was trying to get for the lawyers in St. Louis. I can't remember what it was, but he had called me with Katie on the line. I mean, it just ripped my ass about something. I go, you're not even listening to me, Adam. You're not even listening to anything I said. And then about 30 minutes later, he calls me back. He was like, hey, I just want to apologize. I understand now you had it under control. I go, okay. Until next time you decide to not listen and, think you got all the answers and then you hear it from somebody else that you trust and then go, oh, okay, well, I shouldn't have probably ripped Tony's ass because he was right. And I'm not right about everything. I can tell you that. I mean, things change around here with processes, procedures, and real estate. And we're now going through another ticketing system, and now we're going through another project system. It's like, God damn. It's like, I mean, things change around here with processes, procedures, and people. It's like, no wonder you can't get a good grip on what the hell you're doing. It's like,
yeah, for that Duluth project, out of my 4.5, 5 years or whatever it was, I'm going through basically the process instructions, and I had realized that this project had never even fully been through like the EWRA or whatever it is, through the GSA for funding request. So so I went in there, figured it out. I actually got this successful mission for funding and got the funding and all that. And I was like, I think I'm the only person in 4 years here who's ever actually done this. And Duluth was fucking Tamika's original project from like fucking 10 years ago or something. So I was like, that bitch didn't even do this. And this was her project that got handed to another guy, when the project came through, they were like, yeah, John Kitover actually submitted this and it's been approved. And Adam's like, huh? What? Oh my, nobody cared that it was totally out of the chain of success. Anyways, like, I'm glad that that place, like you're saying, is, it's an animal house. It's stressful. Like,
it's toxic, dude. It's toxic. It's it's just not. It's not suited for people like us who can only take so much. You can't hold their tongue. And I mean, I'm saying I just respond to everything like always. But I mean, it usually takes me a while, but I usually figure out what the angle is, motive is, like something's up, and then it's like, then you kind of shut down and you kind of like don't respond and it's like you don't want to be here. I don't want to be here. I just don't want to be here doing this for him. I feel like that's who I'm doing this for. Instead of saying, hey, I'm doing for America and the United States, it's like, are you really? I mean, are we really? Are we just doing this for Adam?
We're doing
that's the problem I have, is because I can't. I don't know.
I was in a pod, and they wanted to do a renovation, and so many of these projects are just total waste of time. There's no actual real ROI in terms of like generating more revenue for Anyways, I was really upset because this the front desk was basically shaking down a young girl that drives Uber who has no money, and I was like, oh my God, these are shakedown offices. I was like, that taxpayer compliance in the front, they're shakedown artists. Like, they don't have any money, and it's like they're going after the most vulnerable people. I was like, holy shit. I was like, anyways, it is what it is.
Yeah, I just think it's time for me to do something else. I mean, I've been contemplating this for a couple of years. The actual email I sent yesterday to HCM to officially fill my papers which I've already filled out. It was a draft email that I had in my before, and then basically retracted it. Because I talked to a couple people like, hey, they'll look to force you out, you retire on your own terms, blah, blah, blah. And since he kind of got back in the picture this last 6 weeks, we've got a couple projects that have to be done. They want done before fiscal year 26 is over, which, is the end of September. Well, the fucking project is in fucking Chicago. And now all of a sudden, after 3 years in my RA, he wants me to, fucking travel.
Yeah.
He's like, I need you to put in a travel request. And I'm thinking, are you out of your fucking mind? And then I talked to the private PM who had basically put the kind of the early stages of the project stuff together. And I'm like, so do you think this project has any chance of hell being done by September? They're like, no. So let me just recap. So we have 4 projects that we want done before the end of fiscal year 26. Well, guess who got the hardest project? Me. And he admitted that on the phone on this call this morning. Well, the other 3 projects, the one that's going to be tough is Chicago. That's probably the hardest project.
Is it at the JCK?
That's moving from Schiller Park.
Oh, they're closing Schiller Park?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
They're moving from Schiller Park to JCK, and furniture from Schiller Park School and down the road. But he gave me the hardest project, the one that is going to fail. So he can say October 1st. Well, Tony doesn't know what he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
But even though I was looking at this thing and I'm thinking, okay, maybe. But then I just talked to the person who had the project, which was Pam. And
she's in my case file because she claims that Tamika didn't call me a man whore, and that we were just having a casual conversation. She didn't help me at all.
Yeah. Well, I'm not surprised.
Yeah, birds of a feather.
I'm not surprised. It's all about loyalty. So she told me that no, it's probably not going to make it. Well, you'll find this hilarious. So with Tamika not coming back and going to Atlanta, well, guess who just got appointed 90-day acting section chief? Pam Davis.
Oh, I thought her last name was Coleman. I screwed that up.
Yeah, Pam Davis. So how does that work? I mean, I remember the last time I actually was in the same room with her was in Chicago. And we had that little get together with that Kim lady to do some kumbaya shit and take out whatever. This is the safe zone, so you can tell your whole life story in here, and nobody's going to judge you for it. I remember her telling me, because she was fairly new to FMSS and project management in general. She's like, I don't want to do projects. I don't want to do projects. And now she's the acting section chief.
Yeah, Pam, she told me that she was working. She's been there a long time. She was working in, I don't know what business unit that is, but she told me that she couldn't do it anymore because they had to garnish somebody who was dying of terminal cancer, and they were going to bankrupt her. And she was like, I just couldn't do that to people. I couldn't keep doing that to people. I was like, holy shit. That's some serious shit to garnish and seize assets, of somebody. Anyways, I was just kind of like, wow. I was like, so that's why you moved to FMSS? Because you didn't like stealing people's money that were dying anymore? I don't even know if she actually, who knows, but.
Yeah, so she found acting section chief for at least 3 months. Yeah, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised she didn't confirm that. I'm not surprised. Was there anybody else in that conversation, or just you 3?
About what?
When she called you a man whore.
Oh, Tamika? No, we were at Potbelly's, and we were doing a site visit, and she's like, "You're not going to eat with us, John?" I was like, "No, I'm good." I'm like, I had a big breakfast. I'm good on having lunch with you, but yeah, she says, yeah. I mean, I was talking about how, it's talking about dating or marriage or whatever, and she's like, "Oh, you a man whore, John? You a man whore?" And I should have got up and just left them at that fucking restaurant, got in the car and just immediately left and said, "Hey, I was sexually harassed. I felt I should have just abandoned that fat pig at the restaurant."
So it was just you three there?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
I should have started the process then. But, I mean, I've been sexually harassed at work many times. I mean,
Let me ask this question. So what happened with the whole Robbie thing?
yeah, like you said, no findings. At the end of the day, they say there's no substantiation, no findings, etc. And but then at a meeting, I wrote Robbie an apology letter saying, "Hey, sorry about this, blah blah blah." And she came up to me. She says, "Thank you so much, John, and thank you so much for not publicly saying anything." I was like, "You're welcome." I mean, I'm not. Anyways, that's what it is. But it's just annoying.
I mean, was that brought up in your claim?
Not too much. There is things in there saying that, as a result of filing that original sexual harassment claim. See, the thing is, they narrow the scope on what they're going to investigate, and that's not part of like the official complaint. But that's kind of what led to all of this. What caused the rift between me, Adam, Tamika, was me, saying that, Robbie is sexually harassing me, saying, "Hey, we can get a hotel room together, wink, wink. We can go in the hot tub together, wink, wink." I was like, "What?"
She said that to you?
Yeah. I was like, "What? I was like, ugh.
She's nasty anyway.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Yeah, her and I don't get along very well. She's very, she's very vocal. And I'm not meaning like, she's just loud and just, I mean, she's just very, I want to say kind of aggressive in a way.
Yeah, she a gangbanger. She a gangbanger from the streets of Milwaukee.
Oh, she is?
Do you know anybody's past that works there? Do you know anything about anybody that works? No. I don't. So
I just know she's just very,
yeah, I'll never forget it. I go into an office with Robbie up in Wisconsin. There's only one guy working at the pod. He's like a senior, employee, been there forever. And this was peak COVID. And he says, "Robbie, would you mind putting a mask on?" And she looked at me. She said, fuck that motherfucker, that white mother. Like, I was like, what? I was like,
she said that?
Yeah. I was like, holy shit. I was like, what's wrong with this woman? This is like a very nice guy. He's being nice to us. Why is she so crazy? She's psychotic. God. The whole COVID thing. I can't believe that's like what my career came down to, was like being in a pod and taping off 6 feet, wearing a mask. Like the dumbest fucking reality you could ever create. Like, talk about wasting your life and stupidity. Unbelievable.
Yeah, retire. I'm going to give up some money. I'm going to get some disability, monthly, but it's okay. I mean, I was going to retire probably about 60 anyway. It's been about 5 years, 4.5, 5 years. So, retire from here, or try to retire from here. But I want to do something else. I've already kind of got something started. Just trying to line it up and just trying to spend the next probably 10 years managing myself. and
Well, there's a lot of, this real estate shit never goes away. And all these agencies, whether it's Army, Navy, Air Force, etc., they always need, basically site surveys, etc. So it's like, this is a thing.
Yeah.
And you know how to use AutoCAD, so, or not
Well,
AutoCAD, I mean.
I'm actually, John, I'm actually preparing to take the state exam for Missouri for private investigator.
Oh, wow.
I already have my business name filed with the state. I don't have an EID. I didn't want to do that yet because I didn't want that to be a conflict of interest with, IRS and all that. But because also too, I got to still take the exam. But I've been studying on and off, and yeah, I'm just trying to.
Sherlock Holmes over here.
What's up?
Sherlock Holmes.
I think between my project management skills and my analyzing skills and my gut tuition, I think I'd make a pretty good goddamn private investigator. And it's not going to be really probably doing some serving stuff or maybe some lawyers and shit like that. Maybe
don't privatize
fraud or.
Yeah, don't privatize mostly like work on like marriage cases of like infidelity.
Well, it could be a private civil, but I'm hoping I can get on, maybe get some work with like some of these big insurance companies like State Farm or whoever to do some of their.
Who's got it good at the IRS is the criminal tax investigators. Like I played golf with them, and that's like a real police brotherhood in a way. And they're not stressed out. It's only FMSS that creates insane levels of stress, and it's
you golf with CI.
Yeah, they have a CI tournament here, and I golfed with them, and one of the CI guys was like, John, if you ever owe the IRS money and it's less than $10,000, don't ever pay it because we're never gonna fuck with you. I'm like, okay.
Wow. Maybe they need to investigate their EEO complaint.
Yeah, we'll see how that all pans out. I'm not optimistic on any of this because I ran for Congress. I launched a congressional campaign in August. I generated 1,700 signatures, and they accused me of fraud. The opposing counsel for Darren LaHood, who was a congressman here in Illinois, they accused me of fraud, and I think I accused him of fraud about 1,000 times. But yeah, I mean, they kicked me off the ballot, but I'm a write-in candidate for the 16th district now, and there's no way.
How did they kick you on the election board? Kick you off?
The Illinois State Board of Election kicked me off the ballot.
For what?
Insufficient signatures. And I challenged his signatures, which I think are fugazi, and they didn't audit his signatures. They only audited my signatures. And it's crazy. Like I've run before. I ran for a committee person here in Illinois, and they challenged my signatures. And so when you challenge a signature, you have to go to that person's address and get another signature and notarize it. And so if you have to go to hundreds of people's houses to get the signature like they can technically disqualify anybody. It's such a racket. So it's very difficult, to get on the ballot. It's very difficult. You have to have at least double the number of the minimum, at least.
When's the election?
March 17th is the primary.
How many people were you running against?
He's running unopposed. I was the only person that ran against him. I had people sending me money in the mail, people calling me, thanking me. But I did a debate against the Democrat candidate, a guy named Paul Noley, and totally clueless. People are clueless. Like they have no idea that we're this much in debt, and they don't even give a shit. So he's running against a Democrat in the November election, and there's a good chance that this Democrat beats him in like a +3, +4 Republican district. So he's putting out all this content, nonstop and touring, but he doesn't hold any open public town halls. Everybody hates the guy, hates him like at a very high degree. it's chance he wins, a chance he loses, you know. But it was interesting running, you know.
Yeah.
It was a
Hey,
big.
I was gonna ask you, did not that I'm not interested in your political career, but I was just thinking off the top of my head, did they give you a copy of the affidavit or the thing I filled out?
Yeah, I got that. Oh, you mean I don't know if that's in that final submission. It's probably in there.
Yeah, well, I mean, they sent me something to my email and said I had so much time to get it back. I filled it out and sent it back to them.
Yeah, I got that. I read that. I thank you for that very much.
Yeah. I don't know if they reached out to the person that told me that what was said. You know.
What's her name again?
Crystal Johnson.
Yeah, Crystal. Yeah.
Yeah, she's like, you know, I don't think Adam would have done it. You know, saying it's one thing, doing it's another. Well, don't we have a fucking no tolerance policy? Doesn't matter what your intent was. You say it, then.
With regards to what?
Well, he said something about punching you in the throat.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah, and you know, she just said, you know, I heard him say it, but I don't think he would have done it.
I don't think he would, you know. It's an empty threat. I'm not really worried about him punching me in the throat when his teeth are falling out of his head. But
Crystal?
Yeah. And she was like then she told me something about like she's like, yeah, my retirement is good. Like it's all about the window you look out of, like in the garden you have or something. And I got a pretty nice house here with a pretty nice garden. And I started laughing to myself. I was like, you know, did you cheat on your husband with a woman? Like, why did you and your husband, you know, call it quits after all these years or something? Like, I'm kind of, you know, it's not that I dislike her. I mean, she's very, but I'm just thinking to myself, like, what's the real story?
She never told me she was getting a divorce or got a divorce.
Yeah.
I was, she mentioned to me and I haven't talked to her in a while, but I know some of the conversations we've had, she's mentioned her partner.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, because she's so dykish that I'm thinking, oh, her husband ditched her because she's a lesbian and her husband's dating a younger guy. Because I think it was like she was saying that her husband is much more well-to-do than her, and you know, and so this divorce is costing her well-being, you know, or her lifestyle or something like that.
Okay. Well, I mean, you know, I guess that's part of picking and choosing and making decisions as an adult. I mean, you know, people stay together for sometimes the wrong reasons. Like, I don't want to get out of this because, you know, he's making a shitload of money.
Right.
And, you know, whatever. What the fuck? I just know this, John, that I am going to protect my mental health and my physical health because, as you know, with physical health can really affect with mental health can really affect your physical health. And I have just vowed that I'm just not going to be a statistic, you know, homeless vet or a vet that's committed suicide or, you know, I really would like to find something where I can give back to the veteran community, even being a disabled vet. I don't know what that is, but maybe it comes from fruition. I don't know, but I just know that who knows how much longer I got to be on this earth, and I'm going to spend my last 10 years in the workforce in peace. And that's just what I decided the other day. I'm doing this. I'm filing it. I'm not pulling it back. I'm done.
Yeah. Well, you know, congratulations. It's I mean, ever since I stopped going to work, I've been enjoying life. I mean, but without the VA disability money, I would be fucked. You know, I mean, I don't spend much, and I don't have any kids. I don't have a wife, so it's like it can work for me. So I understand you got children and whatnot, and so like.
Oh, my kids are adults, dude. My daughter, my oldest one's 30. My youngest one
Oh,
will be
wow.
23 in October. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm divorced about 5 years now, so she didn't get any of my retirement or anything. We split a savings account, and I kept, so I got probably $130,000 of equity in that. And I got money in 3-4 different accounts, and I've got my VA disability, and hopefully with this retirement disability. I mean, I don't really spend a lot of money either. I don't have any in debt. Well, I mean, I have the house, and then I have a newer car that I purchased at Harvard Drive. I actually drive my older one that's paid off. My daughter's car, actually paid hers and mine. That is the older car that I drive. I just paid them off in the last month, like this January, early part of January. And, I told myself a long time ago, those years when you're 25 and you're thinking, God damn, I got 40 more years to work. Yeah. I'd really like to be like debt free at a certain age. I really like to be whatever at a certain age. And I mean, I was looking at some of my bills the other day. I think I use a Discover card almost all the time. I don't cook, so I'll stop and eat. I may be $1,500 in debt, which is nothing, not nothing. And I don't know. I just feel I'm in a good place. I'm in a good place to do this, and I'm going to do it. And in the meantime, I'm going to, put the shit together for the EEO complaint and see where that falls. Because, in some ways, they have really forced me to retire because of the mental anguish and the retaliation and discrimination. And, I got to get away. I got to step away. So, that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, Adam means first man. It's, I think you're right about the bipolar diagnosis on him. But, if he gets stressed, then that's when it comes out. And otherwise he's, happy and gay, drinking his wife's kombucha. I mean, but.
Well, he definitely is a narcissist. He definitely is narcissistic.
Well, don't forget, he's got tragedy. His son offed himself. I wonder if he had anything to do with his son's well-being.
I don't know, dude. I've never asked that question. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I thought it was an accidental shooting, but apparently not, huh? I don't know.
I mean, it could have been fentanyl. I have a friend who, well, he's not really a friend, but he died. He sniffed some fentanyl or something, killed himself. And, whether it's intentional or not, it's all water under the bridge, I guess. But anyways, I'm just glad that, I think it's hilarious that, it's obvious that him and Tamika could never actually have a functional relationship. But it's very funny.
Well, apparently he relieved her of her duties when she was acting in Chicago.
Oh, wow.
Remember that?
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. Okay, so then she left there and went to Atlanta.
Yeah. And
then she comes back and automatically gets put into the Section C position in St. Louis for Section C. And now she's being reassigned again.
Well, before she got transferred out of Chicago, she wrote me up for something, and I said that was retaliation for my sexual harassment complaint. And then, it went nowhere. Her write-up just disappeared, and she disappeared. And when I did that training in KC for, some cert, that big program they have or whatever, there was a guy from Puerto Rico there that was in my group, and we were sitting there using a tape measure, and he goes, that Tamika? I was like, yeah. He goes, this guy, I fucking hate that Tamika.
Well, whatever. Apparently somebody in LA likes her. So, I don't know. They can shift her around all over the place. Not once, but twice. And
can't terminate her, though. It's unbelievable. You can't terminate anybody. But it is what it is. See, the thing is, it's like artificial. I mean, isn't it amazing that the budget is in the billions? You know, never going to be a change in funding. But there's no. I even asked Jamie one time. I was like, now that you're working in portfolio, is there like an alignment between revenue generation and investment in real estate? There's no correlation. It's just like a monolith. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, there's not really, I don't think. I think they just look and say, okay, I think we'll close this building here, or, I mean, now that, the executive order about trying to reduce the footprint. But, the thing about it, too, is, GSA owns all these buildings, and it's like, why are they not making the decision on what buildings are going to be like, hey, we're getting rid of this building, so you got to move? And it's like, why are we, we're paying them rent. So it's like, we're moving out of this building, but then they still own the building. So we're saving money for the IRS, but GSA holds the keys to the fucking, they own all the real estate.
On the Sioux City project, I got on a phone call with Adam and a GSA employee, and it literally sounded like Adam was gonna kill this guy. Like, how are you doing, Frank? I was like, what? Who's this guy? Like I had never heard Adam like turn into Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde before like that. And you could tell this GSA agent employee was not happy with Adam. And sure enough, after that phone call, that GSA employee left the project. Wanted to have nothing to do with Adam. And then we got a new GSA coordinator, who had never had to deal with Adam before. I was like, this is hilarious. Like, Adam has beefs with everybody.
Yep. Everybody. Yep.
Psychotic. He's psychotic. I mean, I was like, I couldn't believe it was so crazy hearing him on the phone with that guy. Like they had it out. They it was intense. I was like, woohoo, this is amazing. Like, I was actually happy because like I had, observed Adam in a conflict that didn't involve me, and it was like watching two people, fight it out. I was like, this is pretty funny.
Yeah. So let me ask you this question. So you said there was 700 pages to this thing. What was their rebuttal or their response? I mean, has there been anything like, are they just submitting like, oh, he didn't show up in this building, or?
I can forward it to you. It's huge. I went through it yesterday, some of it, because it's just so expansive, and it's basically like no findings, no finding this, no finding that. But it doesn't give like a judgment or a summary. It's more of like an investigative file. And now I have to go before administrative hearing with a judge, and I suppose represent, originally asking like 70,000 or something, but then on another packet, and it gave me another option to like write in how much you're looking for. I was like, fuck it, 210,000. So, we'll see. And they also give you the opportunity to have the Treasury make a summary judgment for you if you don't want to go to an administrative hearing. I was like, what the fuck would be the point of doing all of this if you don't go before an actual judge and you let the IRS, give you its own judgment?
Yeah. I mean, have they not made an offer like to settle it?
No. Did you see Scott Bessent talk to that Congresswoman who's like the head of the Federal Reserve Oversight Committee, Maxine Waters? Scott Bessent was like, madam, please maintain some level of dignity. And Maxine Waters is telling Scott Bessent, shut him up! Shut him up! Shut up! Shut up! Did you see that video clip?
I haven't seen that.
Oh, I'll send it to you. It's fucking hilarious. It's just like dealing with people at the IRS like Tamika. Shut him up! Shut him up!
Yeah. I'm just kind of curious what they're gonna. To me, I don't know. It's like, if you have affidavits, from other witnesses, that's a big key to a lot of this stuff, as far as, having witnesses. And I'm hoping, I hope mine goes smoother than yours. I mean, I'm not trying to be selfish, but I hope line doesn't dry out. They'd be like, yeah, this is a violation of whatever, and
don't count on it. Don't count on it. Because it's just like you're going up against a monolith. They'll give you what they want to give you. Who the fuck are you? You're nothing. Like, even if you have representation and a lawyer, it's like such a, I don't know. Well, all I could say is good luck. I hope it, results in some type of compensation. Because if you look at like Congress has, have you ever seen how much like Congress has paid out in sexual harassment claims? It's insane. Like, the government spends an inordinate amount of money on settling claims every year. So I just hope to be a part of some type of compensation. And if they rule against me, I can file an appeal,
Yeah, I think it'd be much easier if they just settle, because they're going to pay for their lawyers.
But they're already on salary anyways, unless they're... See, the woman who did the EEOC complaint investigation, she was a contractor, and she's an attorney. So they don't have full-time employees even working on this. They have to, like, hire a consultant to come in and do all this.
Right, yeah, and that's costing them big money. The lady that reached out to me, I think she was from the USPS. I think.
Yeah, I got a weird email with my findings by the United States Postal Service. Like, click this link. I'm like, what the fuck? Why am I clicking on a United States Postal Service link? This is weird. How the hell do they do that?
I think she's the one that sent me to fill it out. And I sent it back to her. And then she asked me, what Crystal Johnson are we talking about? And I put, Crystal J. I don't know where her initial is. I think J. But
you know why there was no fuel in the generator? Because Robbie would have had to do a PPS. Would have had to get the funding approved for it.
Well, she had $8,000 sitting around for fuel. It should have been factored in the project. I mean, it was factored in when I had it. Why did she decide it was a good idea to leave the generator empty? What's the purpose? I mean, why, buy a car and then not put gas in it?
I think I had to do a PPS once for like $1 or something, and I was like, "This is so fucking stupid. I might as well just pay it myself." What a waste of fucking time all this is. It's incredible.
Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't just have you P card it.
I don't remember. It was like stamps or some shit. I can't remember what it was, but so.
Well, I'm gonna let you go. I guess I gotta get back to doing something for the day.
So when do you think you're going to actually, because, I don't know if you know this, but the founder of Airbnb, he took over the federal retirement division, and like he's supposedly digitized it and like changed it from like a 1-year turnaround to like, 30, 60 days or something. So
for what?
For federal retirements, because it's all stored in an underground warehouse. But he's digitized it. Like he's the former founder of Airbnb, and he's helping the Trump administration. Have you seen the federal employment roster? Like, it's plunged like 40%. Like since Trump's taken over, like federal employment is at its lowest level since like the 60s or something. Everybody's left and retired.
You mean you talking about federal government employees?
Yeah, I saw the chart.
There's nobody here. Yeah, there's nobody here. Even IRS. I mean, they let a bunch of IT people go, and then they called them back and said you're going to start reviewing taxes. So they got IT people reviewing taxes.
Oh my! Yeah, I heard that. I heard that they got people. Yeah. How's Michelle Herndon doing?
Michelle Herndon, she's still in IT. I talked to her the other day. She got a RIF notice, and then it didn't go through. They called her back, and they're all waiting to be riffed. I don't know what she's gonna do. I don't know if she's getting her. I don't know. I don't know if she's gonna be here or not. So I also think the next 3 years are gonna be ugly. Not just with FMSS continuation of this clusterfuck, but I think in general the next 3 or 4 years is just going to be not good. I mean, I don't know. There's not hardly any jobs on USA Jobs. IRS hasn't posted any jobs. I couldn't tell you when a year.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I mean, there's nowhere to go. Where are you going to go?
Fuck, look at Palantir.
Go to where?
Palantir.
So how was that?
It's Peter Thiel's company. They have basically the criminal tax. Like I was with Rettig one time, and when we were in Minneapolis, and he was talking to all the attorneys. He's like, "Have you heard of Palantir? Have you heard of Palantir?" Like he was soliciting Palantir to IRS senior, attorneys, appeal attorneys, etc. And it's like the Google search engine of everything. Like they have all the data from everything. So like all criminal investigations, they know your assets, they know everything about you because it's like one huge database, and it's an AI software. So, but anyways, check it out. Like it's publicly traded and it has exploded. They do everything. Like they're huge.
Spill your retirement.
I will. I'm gonna do that today. I got a mountain of paperwork on my desk to go through.
If you need the email address, it doesn't go through the traditional retirement process. Just Spill Your Retirement goes through a different process. You can go on. You can't. I don't know. There's a website for regular retirement, TRPs, all that kind of shit.
Okay, well, I'll text you if I have any questions or whatever.
Yeah, no worries.
Okay, thanks a lot, Tony. Have a great day.
See you, buddy. Yeah, you too.
Okay, take care. Bye.
Bye.